How's it going once again? Welcome back to another show. This is You Made Roscoe, and I am Roscoe. And today I got my partner in crime with me. I got C Mack Drift. What it do, my dude?
Do what it do, what it do. We here
Amen.
again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back at it. And today, me and Mac Drift, we're gonna have a conversation um, that's about DJ Academics and in response to what something that he said, LL Cool J. But before we get started, I do want to ask for anybody who hasn't that they please subscribe to the channel and also make sure you hit the notification bell. That way, you'll be reminded of future shows. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, me and Mac Drift, we was already talking a little bit about this because this just kind of came up, I believe, today, either yesterday or today, where Academics he was recorded saying something about the rappers from the older generations and saying how a lot of those dudes, as he said, as he's been quoted saying, is dusty and saying that they didn't make no money and where's their money at and all this type of nonsense. So um, I wanted to ask you, Mac Drift, about just how you felt about some of the statements that academics have brought up.
Yeah, the whole problem what I had from this was he could never say, what the forefathers, you know, went through to accumulate what made them worthy or worth, anything when it comes to hip hop. When you the first, then you gotta go through all the scrapes and through the scrapes and through the trials and tribulations to make it what it is. You know what I mean? So,
Oh,
on that note, you cannot put that in the same category because they the ones who laid down the foundation. So for the younger generation to be who they are right now and to capitalize how they have, they didn't have the internet and everything back then, and you know, even when hip hop hit the internet early on, the artists they didn't have no real clue on how to monetize off of it and everything. All that took trial and error,
right.
as it all progressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I look at hip hop and I really think about the fact that just like with any business in the beginning stages, every business is gonna start at a low, and everybody has to build up at that point. Like, first of all, hip hop wasn't even looked at as something in the beginning that would last.
Generate all this money. They
Yeah,
wouldn't. Hell no,
yeah,
no.
no, nobody even thought about that stuff. So they was thinking. I remember a time somewhere in the early to mid '80s where they were saying like 5 years from that point, like hip hop wouldn't even be a thing.
Here no more. Exactly.
So the fact that the guys who laid the foundation, like you said, that they built it up to a point where it got the notoriety that it got, and in the beginning stages, guys didn't have like managers and stuff like that, or
Right.
they didn't have that forethought because it was just something they was doing for the love, and oh, somebody want to put us on TV or we getting famous.
They didn't know how much it was worth. They didn't know. See, a lot of things. What you just said, TV commercials, all those things,
Yeah,
paying corporations that's using the hip hop, all that wasn't even into play, and all that brought more value to it.
right.
As far as monetizing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So the guys in the beginning, I can remember like a lot of heads that I grew up to. Like when I first like got or started really listening to hip hop for real, it was like Run DMC, who they was probably the biggest thing that was out at the time. But everybody else that was under them, they was scraping by. These wasn't people that was making a lot of money, but they was building the foundation for it. And for somebody that's one of these younger kids now to even disrespect the fact that you eating off of what they built, you
Yeah.
know. So I just don't get it, man. But I know that LL Cool J, he had a response about that, and
It was valid. It was valid as hell.
yeah, what was your thoughts? What was your thoughts on LL's points?
Man, he was dead on point. You know what I'm saying? He was dead. He pretty much saying what everything that we saying. You know, uh, they was the forefathers that even paved the way for hip hop to be a hip hop. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? They didn't, the young cat in generation, they didn't invent it. Now they put more ingredients into it to help transform it, or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But without the old school, it wouldn't be, they wouldn't have that opportunity. They'd be the ones not even monetizing off of it probably. You know what I'm saying? And they have to figure it out and find a way because there was no errors. If it wasn't no trials and errors in the stories, beforehand, they would have had to experience you know, all of the things that the old school had to experience and growing in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. No, you ain't lying. I think about, the like hip hop, for like even in the stages that I grew up to, like I said, it would be like Run DMC and then the Fat Boys and UTFO and Houdini and all these guys. Like they had the notoriety, like they was on TV and stuff like that, but and they wasn't making a ton of money off of it. Like hip hop was still looked at as like this little dirty thing that,
Thought it was fun and games.
yeah, yeah,
It was a big lucrative, you know, situation. So like I said, cup corporations weren't even paying for commercials and slots and stuff to even bag up hip hop or none of that. Hip hop even made a global impact. Look at all the overseas artists
yeah,
that is done over there and everything. Shit, they just as big as hip hop heads is over here, especially like in Japan.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'd be surprised how it is out there.
No, I mean, they actually, when it comes to like the older artists, the overseas people are bigger supporters of that still. Like this the crazy thing about hip hop to me is that this is the only genre of music where uh age is a thing. You know what I mean? Like the young people in every other genre of music still respect the old music of they genre. Like if you're a rock and roll head, a young rock and roll head, you still mess with Guns and Roses and Aerosmith and Metallica and all. You still got respect for them. If you're older, a younger head in anything, you still got reverence for the old stuff. But hip hop ain't like that. It's like once like this the only form of music where they want to put an age cap on the stuff. Like the Rolling Stones could still, if they was like physically able to, they could still be touring and stuff like that right now. They're getting
Yeah,
big money.
yeah, yeah. And they crowds love them still.
Yeah,
It's a lot of that's one of the things that the old school hip hop cats can do. And I've seen it that they got old school hip hop tours, but it's only a certain select of the artists that's doing it. But
right.
their crowd is still here. And they'll come out to this go see their ass just like a Luther concert. You
Oh
feel me?
yeah,
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 if Run DMC was to do a tour, believe me, it's gonna sell out because the old school people our age and everything, they gonna make sure they go see him. Feel me?
yeah. No, they definitely gonna get out and try to
You know.
support those guys. You
But
know,
the good thing about it today, it'll be it'll be recorded, it'll be played, aired all over the internet, but because they ain't had the internet back then. But believe me, man, they can do a pay-per-view and they'll make all kind of money today. You know what I'm saying? Trust and believe that. You feel
oh,
me?
dude,
Maybe that'll help put some goddamn respect on on they motherfucking on they stilo with people like Akademiks if they did like that. And another thing too, all the old school rappers that's in the like the hip hop museum and all that. What if all of the to pay homage, all of the new school artists, they all of them put in the pot for all of the old school cats that have made it to the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and all that. You know what I'm saying? That'd be, instead of talking shit, you know what I'm saying, and trying to compare, that'd be the ultimate thing right there. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's funny that you say that because Jay-Z actually had a line in the song one time where he referenced something like that, where he said something like, "I'm I'm I'm doing this for the Cold Crush." You know what I mean? And like he's one of those guys that will still give respect to, and he's an older guy. He's around our age, just a little, So he,
but look, it got to be more than just respect because according to people like Akademiks said, if they ain't making the money, then they don't deserve to be respected or be acknowledged. But said to me, I'm like said, they made the hip hop hall of fame. Then said every new artist and every artist they still give 1% to the hip to their asses. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
No, it should be that. It should be I wish that there was like, let's just call it a hip hop pension.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly.
So yeah, no, it should be
opportunity back then as they do now. So said that'll be a big help instead of trying to compare and talk shit. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, no, just if we used to look at it in street terms, like when, let's just say, one of the older heads had got locked up or something like that, and then like once when he hit the streets again, the young guys the guys that's still out there on the street, once he hit the street again, they gonna make sure that he good. You know what I mean? Or that's how it used to go.
He in the hip hop museum hall of fame. Said when he get out, he just go to the museum and they got a check for him because all these artists and they putting in the 1% to every artist that's in the hip hop hall of fame and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they got a check coming from them. Period. You feel me?
Yeah. No, it should be that. It should be that, man. So I just really trip off the fact, and you're right about that. Like if they have the wherewithal to be like, man, because that's something I would do. If you made, especially if you made like a ton of money out here, which a lot of these younger artists, they are doing that. They making tens of millions, some of these dudes, and I'm talking about dudes who, to us, they probably insignificant. The little Uzi Burks of the world and all these dudes.
These kids nowadays doing it. They smart because they grew up with the internet and the computer. And that'll be another thing. Instead, they can probably, show some of the old heads and shit, how to monetize off of their old school shit. I'm just saying, don't be talking shit and trying to make somebody insignificant. That's disrespectful, dog. Yeah. That shit can't be tolerated.
No, because at the end of the day, and I don't know if you saw this the verses that was between KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, like dude, I think that was one of the biggest verses that had happened. Like they made a lot of money and spread and showed how much influence just those two dudes had.
Yeah, they picked up new fans and shit from the new school who never knew that they was that dope and all that shit because they was able to have it on the platform where everybody was able to see them, the internet. You feel me?
Right. So that if that type of thing was to happen for like all of the old heads, the Slick Ricks of the world, the Dougie Freshes of the world,
be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
So those dudes, man, they definitely don't deserve for Akademiks or any of the young heads to go around saying that they don't deserve the respect because you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here otherwise.
He crazy. Look, I mean, he got to look at. He got DJs before him that he didn't learn shit from. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Right.
Jam Master J, Cut Creator, Terminator X, you know, Battle Cat, you know.
Right.
I'm just saying, you feel me? There's a lot of old school cats, man, that they need to, they need to acknowledge that. And they might not have to say their name, but said, if they made the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and said they'll get a check. So that might be thanks enough. I'm just saying that's how much. I'm just saying though.
No, I agree. I agree. They need to get something because um they do they definitely deserve the respect and that like I said already, man, that foundation that the young kids are enjoying right now, that came from somewhere. Hip hop didn't just appear out of nowhere when these 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds and all that, when they came of age, it was just like, oh, here's hip hop. It's like, what was that built from? If you look at the NFL, the NBA, all that stuff, like it was a point in time where they wasn't making money. Like in the NFL and the NBA too, like these dudes had to get second jobs.
I'm trying to tell you.
So
I
the
mean,
money wasn't there, but now if you look today, the dudes that's playing in those sports is getting crazy contracts. And in those sports, like we was talking about the pension, there is a pension for the NFL and the NBA dudes. There's a
yeah,
pension for them. So yeah, no, it some need to be done, and these young dudes really need to do their history, and really learn to pay that homage to these dudes and find a way to give back to these dudes. Like you said, if it ain't gonna be monetary, make it so you could show them how to make it on their own. Make that money, or create the platforms for those guys to be able to do it.
you feel me?
So
Don't sit there and disrespect it and talk shit and
yeah,
all that other crap. That shit
no,
ain't gonna make it. That ain't gonna make it right there. No,
no.
that ain't the way.
And I'm glad that LL he stood up for the old heads, man. He really like put himself out there, and
And he
he
didn't have to. He's a movie star. He didn't have to do that.
yeah, yeah, no, he's definitely somebody who made his money.
Yeah, he could have been like, huh, go keep talking, motherfuckers, you want to. But yeah, nah, he did that. Hats off to LL said.
No,
Hats off to him.
he spoke up for
He
all
did
those
that.
guys. He because he's closer to the age of like the Run DMCs, and he came up under the ones that came before him. The Kumo D's and the Dougie Freshes,
Black boys, all of them. You know what
Spoonie,
I'm saying?
Spoonie G, and all them dudes.
Yeah, cowboy,
Who
all of them. Yeah.
So yeah, no, he came from that era where he knows what the struggle that a lot of guys went through.
He experienced it. You feel me?
Yeah,
He was the turner when LL came. It was like hip hop made a turn the corner. It
yeah,
bent the a corner when LL came in the game.
yeah,
When he came, he bent the corner on their ass as far as hip hop. He bent the corner. Hip
yeah,
hop another direction. It gained more momentum. You
yeah.
know, but it was catering to the younger ones that was coming up though. You
Right,
feel me?
right. And he also like that era was like really the first on anywhere close to a global scale, was the first kind of superstars of the game. Like before LL's time, the guys who was the big shots in hip hop, they was only known in the streets.
Yeah,
They was,
yeah.
so when LL came, rappers was getting TV exposure. Now the companies are starting to say, oh, you know what, we can
Yeah.
invest in these guys.
Now they were starting to see corporate money. At least the record companies was,
Yeah, the companies was.
but
Yeah.
the artists they still wasn't.
No, they was because
It was company to company. So other companies was like, shit, man. Other companies, that was not in the music. They was looking at the record companies like, hey, man, yeah, this is taking off, man. Let's, we'll make a deal with us. But the artists probably wouldn't have seen a dime of that corporate money at least for another 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. No, I mean, when they first came up, they didn't know about having lawyers and how to read these contracts and
Right,
all this
right,
kind of stuff. You know,
right.
so that was the thing. They was the first ones. Before them, nobody was giving hip hop contracts and all this stuff. So they had to go through that stuff, and they were signing. It wasn't that they couldn't make the money. They was just like the companies was taking advantage of them.
They was making the money, but the money wasn't getting to the artists. It was getting to the companies, the record companies.
Right, right.
That's why the record companies got so big.
Yep.
That's why the big six was able to be who they are today.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, all of the Def Jams and Jive and even the sub companies like Delicious Vinyl and
Yeah,
Cold Chillin', and
yeah,
they
yeah.
they was making crazy money.
It came to the big six, Universal, Sony. You know what I'm saying? The big six, Capital.
Yeah.
A couple of more of them and shit
Columbia.
but I know it was the big six. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. No, but it's just sad, man. I don't know. I just think the young heads really need to do their homework at the end of the day.
Oh, hey, but look though, like okay, say the ones who signed with a record label, they signed with a company. That I mean, as far as like, okay, the hip hop overlord, or you know what I'm saying? It could be written in the contract that you sign this contract with us, you gotta, we require you to do 100 hours of, hip hop history.
Right. Yeah. No, it should be a thing.
I'm
It
just
should
saying,
be.
it's all about how they push the agenda. You know what I'm saying? But I think that would work wonderfully. You know what I'm saying for young artists, especially they can see where they came from and
Yeah.
understand the importance of everything that they went through. So possibly they won't make the same mistake.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
They
but see, the companies don't care about that, man. Like
they want that.
yeah, the companies just want to take advantage. That's
You know,
all it is.
But that's the importance of when you're an independent artist, man. The more you know, the longer you gonna stay. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For
Yeah.
real.
No, it'll be different if like the actual people who created hip hop had the control, and then they'd be able to do some of the things that you talking about.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
that goes back to the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and shit. That's where everybody who would be in there is will be like they are head. They are a part of the head. You know what I'm saying? Because they the ones who helped build it. You feel me?
yeah, no, man, and yeah, you're right. Like if it would be nice if they instituted something like you have to learn these steps and learn this history before you even allowed in the door.
Yeah.
Like we ain't let you in the door until you know the history.
Yeah, all this new shit where artists is dying and shit, they might need to learn how the other artists is moving and how not to move so you won't make yourself vulnerable. And I'm just saying this shit can go a whole lot of ways. It possibly could save lives. Though. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
never know.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, again, if we was to break that down to street level, that was a time when the young heads listened to the OGs, and now that's not happening no more. Like
They're making more money.
yeah,
They ain't paying no homage to the. They don't have to go back and see the struggle, or they don't have to. They don't have to learn nothing about what happened before. So to them, it don't. To them, probably it don't. It never. It don't exist. It's only about them when it's
yeah,
not. You know,
No, I mean, it go back to Akademiks and what he said. Like, you're not important if you don't have the money. So why am I listening to you if I got more money than you?
that's just like saying, okay, Thomas Edison, he invented the light bulb, but still, if some slave on the plantation made the plans and shit, and he didn't make the money, did he not contribute?
Right, right, right. Or just Thomas Edison himself. Like I'm sure he never saw the biggest fruits from what would eventually come to the company.
All the corporations and the companies and the investors that was backing him up, though. So shit, he did reap something.
Yeah, no, he got something. He got something, but that like everything got to start somewhere, and it's never start out as a big thing. Microsoft didn't start out as a $1 billion conglomerate. you
Nope.
know
Nope.
what's his name, that runs Apple, is that
Steve
Gates?
Jobs. Steve Jobs.
Oh, there's Jobs. All them dudes, these dudes started from the ground floor and then built it up.
Well, a couple of them had money, families was rich, but still, they still started from the ground floor. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, all I'm saying is like whatever they had in the beginning wasn't what they eventually had.
what they end up with. Right.
You
Right.
know, and it's just like hip hop. I mean, I'm sure somebody had to have some money to put guys in the studios and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they were signing contract. They didn't know how to read these contracts and stuff. They didn't have lawyers, didn't have managers.
No, no. The companies, the record companies had all the management for them.
Yeah, yeah, and they working for the company. So
They had the lawyers for them. You know, they had everything that could be charged against the accounts of the artists what they created. That's why they kept the masters in and all that publishing and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they was doing everything.
right,
They was paying for everything. You know what I'm saying? So in truth, the artists, that's all they was doing was just creating the hits, performing the hits, or whatever the case may be. They might have had writers that was writing for them, which they take a chunk. You know what I'm saying? So, but trial and error taught everybody on, what is possible and what could happen. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. No, it's just sad. That's all I gotta say,
I
man.
think it's gonna turn around, especially if we keep doing shit like this and speaking outside the box and shit like that. Hopefully it pick up and people say, hey, that's a fucking motherfucking brilliant idea. Why don't we try that? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's making it possible, we got the internet right now. You feel me?
Right. Yeah.
You know, to even get the message across or whatever the case may be, so they can look back and see that a brilliant idea was spoke about, and they might have the money to implement it. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah. No, I mean, it got to start from somewhere, and maybe these kind of conversations help the younger cats really understand how this came about, instead of just thinking that it's okay to think that because you capitalize off of something that they did makes you more important than them.
Right,
Makes you
right,
more important than them. So
right.
I know that we got like a little less than 3.5 minutes. So I'm
Man,
a
let's check out. Let's go and check out because I gotta check the stove right quick and everything, man, and get on this food and stuff. But I got a slow simmer and I need to go flip this
no,
shit.
no, go ahead. So we gonna close this out. Before we go, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the share button,
Hit it,
hit the
hit it,
playlist
hit it.
option. Make and this will be in the playlist under reaction shows when you come onto my page. So make sure that you check out that playlist along with every other playlist that I have, because I got a lot of stuff going on. So I just want y'all to have fun with that stuff, man. But what you got to say before we get up out of here?
See, I just want everybody to stay tuned, man, because we're gonna be having conversations like this that possibly could change some lives and some perception. You know what I'm saying? I want to start out my guy Bank Carter. You know what I'm saying? Quality fragrance and oil. You know, we got them. You know, the lotions and the, you know, that we create. You know, we got the air fresheners for the car. We got a lot of goodies. You know what I'm saying? That everybody still be touching down on, and I got a couple more shout outs, but I ain't finna use them right now. We'll top it up later on. You feel me? And keep doing it. You feel me?
Yeah. No, and we definitely got to get to a point where we push the lotions. I think a lot of people in my subscription base are find that like really helpful and useful and all that kind of stuff. But we got like a minute and some change. We're gonna get up out of here. We will see you guys again soon. So until next time, you guys be safe and be good.